Hi everyone, welcome to our live webinar on Apify actors and how to monetize them. I'm Theo. You might recognize me from the videos on our YouTube channel. With me today is Mate.
Hello.
Who is the engineer behind most of the features for paid actor developers. After this brief introduction, Mate will demonstrate how to build actors and how to publish and monetize them. And at the end, he'll be happy to take your questions. You can leave them at any point in Sli.do, which is at the bottom of the description. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, a few words about what Apify actors are. Actors are basically serverless programs running in the cloud. They can perform just about anything on the web, from simple actions such as checking the price on a website or sending an email, to complex operations such as scraping an entire website. There are two types of actors, public and private. Private actors are yours to use on the platform. No one has to see them if you don't want them to. And public actors, which are available to everyone on Apify Store. Here are a few examples of actors published on the store. Most are scrapers, such as Twitter Scraper and Google Maps Scraper, but there are also automation actors, such as AI Product Matcher, or test runners, such as Cypress Test Runner. Developers like you can make public actors free to use, or you can charge for them. Mate will be covering the monetization of actors later. But before we get to that, could you tell us, Mate, why the Apify platform is the best place for actors?
Thank you, Theo, for introduction. Hello, my name is Mate. I'm a lead engineer in a team that is maintaining the store and kind of an ecosystem of the public actors. So first things first, I would like to introduce the platform itself. So when you think Apify console or Apify platform, you basically think AWS, but for scraping and web automation. So there are these actors, which are kind of serverless functions or bots or like small programs that automate and scrape stuff. And you run them. You can run them locally, of course, but you run them on the platform itself. So the platform gives you the basic stuff you need to run these programs, such as the compute engine, way to manipulate and work with storages, way to use proxies, rotate proxies for your scraping jobs. It also gives you API access, and there is a command line interface, which I will cover later in the webinar. Also, Actor on its own can be as powerful as possible, but still, when it is integrated with something else, it is even more powerful, because then there is this compound effect. So there are many integrations and ways to integrate the actors. Also some monitoring tools, scheduling tools, and SDKs and libraries to help you automate, build the actors and build these automation jobs. So at the beginning, I would like to introduce the actors from the developer perspective, and I would like to talk about what it takes to actually create an actor. So creating an actor is easy. You can do it either on the Apify platform itself, or you can do it via our command line interface and then just push the actor to the cloud. When you are choosing your language, you are not limited to basically anything. You can use any language that you can build in Docker, because each actor has a Docker image associated. That being said, most of the actors are in TypeScript or Python, well, or JavaScript, which technically is similar to TypeScript, right? So most of the actors and most of the kind of tools around are for these two languages. We do have SDK for Python and for TypeScript. We also do have a crawling or scraping library called Crawly, which you can use also outside of the Apify, but it really integrates well with Apify. There is this CLI I mentioned, and then there is also something for people that are not like hardcore developers, but maybe free-time developers or more junior developers, and it is templates and universal actors. So template is really a way to get up to speed very quickly. I will show you later. I will show you live. I will try showing you live, which is very bold, right? So template is a way to build the scaffolding and build the actor very quickly and start very quickly. And universal actors is really a way to not build actor at all, but just solve a problem. So when you don't want to build the scaffolding and you don't want to kind of build the program itself, but you just want to get some data from some web page, you can use a universal actor and just write kind of the core logic, what the job should do when it loads the page, which data it should extract. And it is very easy. You just use CSS selectors or jQuery or some other library in this kind of heart of the actor. And all the crawling of the pages and rotating proxies and downloading data would be taken care of by the universal actor. So without further ado, let's see how this looks in practice. So here we have an example account called Serious Developer. And first of all, I would like to show you how you build an actor from a template. There are many templates you can choose, some of them TypeScript, some of them JavaScript, some of them Python, also with different preloaded libraries that just makes your life much easier because the libraries are already bundled in the images that you run when the actor is started. So let's, for example, start with JavaScript. And when you use this template, ta-da, the actor has been created. And it has kind of, you can run this and it would work. It has the basic logic, and it also has kind of all the supporting files, so kind of the definitions. It has the Docker file, so it is what constitutes an actor. If you don't want to use the template, you can, of course, build this from scratch, but this is much faster, right? The second way, the universal scraper way, is here, and it works like this. There are a couple of actors we call universal actors in the store. One of them is Web Scraper, our most popular actor. I think over 50,000 people have used it in past. And here, you really just define this so-called page function, and that's the heart of the actor I've been talking to. And you see here, we are getting some headings and some text from the page, but this is all you write, these couple of codes. So you don't need to be hardcode coder to manage this. And once you define the heart, you just say what it should scrape, and you start it, and it will start scraping the data, selecting everything you want it to select. The last thing I would like to show you is something for the Python developers out there. So let's say you're a Python developer, and you have built a scrapey spider. Using the most popular scraping library in Python, Scrapey. And now you want to run this on Apify platform, and you want to do it as seamlessly as possible. We do have now an automatic way how you can manage this via our CLI. So what you are seeing on the screen is the command line interface, where we are cloning a Scrapey project, so a Scrapey spider. I have prepared this before to not spend as little time as possible. So once we cloned, we need to create a virtual environment, as usual, in Python. And when you activate it, you can install all the dependencies here, which, most importantly, will be the Scrapey dependency. So we will hit the pip install, and now we will need to wait for about 10 seconds until all the dependencies are actually installed. Ta-da! They are there. So let's have a look what this spider actually does. So the spider scrapes the data from this books page. And if we go to the website, we'll see that this page lists book titles. And the spider is scraping the metadata about these books, such as titles, prices. It also uses pagination. We can try it out locally by just running scrapey crawl and using the book spider. It will take a couple of seconds to spin off. And you see it is parsing all the URLs, paginating, and getting the book metadata. Once this is finished, we will go to VS Code just to inspect the data. In this case, I just printed it to data.json, and you see it's scrape title, prices, etc. If you want to make this to an actor, it is as simple as using the Apify CLI and calling Apify init. When you call Apify init in a Scrapy project, it detects it is in a Scrapy project, and it gives you some options to configure it. If you go basically next, as I did here, we'll see that it created some additional files, kind of additional wrappers for your Scrapy spider. And it also created these files that constitutes an actor, a definition of an actor, and also the Docker file in which the actor will be built and then published to the image repository so it can be run on the Apify. Now you just push it to the platform using Apify push. And we'll see that the actor is being built by Docker and then being pushed. It will take maybe another 5 to 10 seconds. So now we see it is finished, and it prompts us to open it in the browser. And when we did, we see there is an actor on the Apify. It has the same files as locally, this scaffolding and kind of wrapper around Scrapy. And the only thing we need to really do in this example for this specific actor is also to override the input. This would depend, of course, on your actor, and hit the Start button. When you hit the Start button, it downloads the image to one of our worker servers, starts the actor, and it starts scrolling the page. You can see it in the logs, and of course, you see the data. It is the same data that we saw before in JSON. So maybe just to quickly recap, you can, of course, build an actor from scratch, but you can also use our templates, either on the platform itself in the browser, or you can actually use the same templates locally in CLI. If you have a Scrapy spider, you can migrate it automatically. And if you don't want to code that much, you can just build the heart of the actor in one of our universal scrapers and just say what you want to get from one specific page. So now we can move to the store that Theo briefly mentioned before. So as Theo said, the actor can be private. That means it is only for you. You build it, and you can use it locally or on the platform. But you can also publish it to the marketplace. And the benefit of this is that if you build something really great and it solves a great problem, for example, it scrapes important data from, let's take Wikipedia, for example, and somebody else has the same challenge. They also want the same data, right? They don't need to build it from scratch. They can just grab the solution off the shelf, the one you built, and they get the value immediately. So at the moment, we have more than 1,600 of these actors published in the store, and there is about 50 actors monthly that are coming to the store, new actors. We have a community of about 150 developers of these actors and about or more than 10K active users. So maybe at this point, I would like to show you from the developer perspective how you can actually publish the actor that you already built and how you do it on Apify platform. It's fairly simple. If we go back to our example developer and our books scraper that was migrated from Scrapy before, we can just go to the Publication tab, fill in some metadata about the actor, and then we can publish it to the store. When I hit Publish to the store, it has been published, and maybe in a matter of a minute or so, it will be visible there. If you decide to unpublish it anytime for any reason, you can simply take it down. If you publish the actor this way, we call it so-called free actor. That means that it does not generate you any profit. And it also means that the users that run it are charged based on the usage, platform usage of the actor. So based on the compute the actor generates, the kind of amount of storages it uses, or maybe the internet traffic or data traffic it consumes while running. You can, of course, decide to monetize it, and I will talk a lot more about that later on. For now, what is important to mention is that the monetization settings are in this section. So you can set up the monetization. You can choose from a couple of pricing models I will cover later in more detail. And then you just hit confirm, and it will get monetized. One important thing here to mention is that once your actor is public, your users might depend on it. They might be businesses, they might be tightly integrated with your actor, which means it should not stop working or kind of drastically change for them day to day, because that might have a negative effect on the workflows, right? So every actor, once it is public, you can change the pricing information, change maybe the pricing model or increase the price only once a month, and you always need to give 14 days notice to your users. So if I set up the monetization here, if it was already monetized and I would like to increase the price, for example, my users would be notified, I would also be notified, and the change would come to effect only 14 days after that. So this is all I wanted to show you in this section of the app. And now I would like to cover what actually makes an actor good actor. Because if you want to generate profit from your actor, and especially if you want to get passive income, it is important that your actor is high quality and it is actually good. And there are a lot of components to this. First of all, your actor needs to actually solve user problem. You can build the best actor ever, but if it solves nobody's problems, nobody will use it, and it will not have the intended effect for the user or for you. The second of all, it's really important that your actor is tested and it is of high quality. And there are two parts of testing. There is the manual testing, and we really recommend you as a developer to test your actor thoroughly and to see what are the edge cases, what is the performance, whether there are not some cases where it could actually crash or kind of misbehave. And then there is automatic testing. For all the public actors in the store, we do run automated tests every day. And your actor can either fail or pass this test. To pass, it needs to succeed, like finish without throwing any error. And it needs to finish under 5 minutes. And it also needs to produce some data if the data is expected. If you have an actor that is not expected to produce data, you need to contact us, and we can kind of exclude the actor from this test. But in general, in store, there are usually scrapers, and we assume that the actors do produce data. If your actor wouldn't pass the test 3 days in a row, then it would be flagged as under maintenance, which technically just means that it might not be working 100% correctly. You would be notified, of course, and you have 28 days to fix the issue. If you do that, everything is fine. If even after 28 days it is still not working correctly, it would get deprecated and removed from the store. That being said, we are always very happy to talk through the actors, talk through any issues. So if your actor, for some specific reason, would be failing these tests, please do reach out to us, and we can make sure that anything important is fixed or it is excluded from the testing framework, etc., etc. Maybe the final thing to mention here is that every test of an actor is done with its default input, which basically mimics a user coming to the platform, loading up your actor, and hitting the start button. I mean, in that case, it really should work. So that's the second component of what actually makes an actor a good actor. The third one is about the interface of the actor. So input on the one side and output on the other side. As with nearly anything in computer science or software engineering, interface is important because other people might want to integrate with your actor, might want to integrate programmatically via API or via some other integration we have, and they need to know what input they should give your actor so it does the job it is doing, and they would also like to know in which format they would receive the data back. For this, we have input and output schema definitions. So if you define this, then your users know what they can expect. And they actually see it next to the README on your actor page, and it is kind of clear communication from the very beginning. This is very important. Also talking about the READMEs, as with any product, and your actor is technically kind of self-contained product in the marketplace, it is important to have good documentation, which on the Apify mostly comes in form of a good README. And it has multiple benefits. One of them is that the users actually do understand what your actor is doing before, and maybe thanks to the README, they choose the actor and actually run it on the platform. And the second one is SEO. The better your actor is, the higher chance it will score well on Google. And then when somebody would be searching for Facebook scraper, for example, it might be your actor that pops up on the first top place in the search results. Also thanks to the good README. So that's the documentation of the actor. Then once you have an actor that solves the user problem, is well tested, has clearly defined interface, and has good documentation, still at the very beginning, nobody knows about it, right? It is on the marketplace, but it takes time to get users and get traction. And you can really, really help this out. And you can help here by promoting your actor. And you can, for example, write a blog post, you can post to forums, post to social media. Some developers even do short videos to promote their actors. Also here, you can join our affiliate program. So in the content you create, you can actually backlink to your actor and potentially earn even more profit, not just from the actor itself, if it is monetized actor, but also from the affiliate program. And once your actor is promoted, the users, they will start coming, and they will be running your actor. They need to get some support. So basically, your job is to improve the actor over time, if you decide to do that, but also to really maintain it, first and foremost, to maintain it, and communicate with your users if something goes wrong. And here, I would like to show you 2 ways how you can do this natively in the platform. So the first one, if we go back to our user, is the Issues tab. So the issues, when I say Issues tab, you can think of GitHub issues. You might be familiar with that. It is basically a forum where anybody who is a customer of your actor can create an issue. Maybe somebody would like a new functionality. Please, can you add functionality X? I am really in need of Y. They can write basically anything. It can be a feedback, it can be a bug report, it can be a feature request, basically anything. When they create an issue, then there is a discussion where anybody can comment. And you are, of course, notified when something is happening in this discussion. It is important to keep an eye on what's happening here, because if you don't, you might miss some important bug reports. And generally, we expect developers to check it at least once in 14 days. But of course, the more frequently you do it and the sooner you respond, the more lively the community of users around your actor, and the better for the actor and for the potential profits as well. The second way how you can communicate with actors is via the emailing functionality, which will soon be visible here in the developer in the actors tab, as an actor section as a new tab. This feature is currently in alpha, so please stay tuned. It will be released very soon. And what it will enable you to do is it will enable you to send email to your users once a month. So to all the users of your actor, once a month, you can send basically anything. It can be maybe a promotion email to inform them about the new feature you've built. Maybe you have improved something. Maybe there was a bug which is now fixed and you'd like to let everybody know. We'll see how it goes, and we'll be developing this kind of communication kind of aspect of the platform more. For now, it is monthly email you can send to your devs. So
that's with building actors?
That's with building actors,
all right.
correct.
So is it time to go into more detail about how to make money out of them, how the payout works and so on?
That's why we are here, right?
Right.
Yeah, sure. As I said before, there are two primary means how you can monetize your actor. There are two pricing models. And there is rental pricing model, and then there is pay-per-result pricing model. So once you publish your actor, if you choose the rental pricing model, the users will pay monthly for the actor. So they always prepay kind of the right to use the actor for one more month. Think flat rental. It's really similar. You as a developer can choose to give them free trial, and then they would only pay or start paying after the free trial finishes. It is important to mention here that when they run the actor will still consume platform resources. It will consume some compute, it will consume some storage operations, it will consume some data traffic. And for this, the user will pay directly to Apify, and it kind of doesn't concern you at all, this platform usage. What concerns you is just the rents. And you, as a developer, at the end of the month, you will receive 80% of all the monthly rents. Here, one more thing which is important to mention is that, of course, you can only receive rent from the users which are actually paying, and they must have given us their credit cards and actually subscribed, so they can be charged. So as far as profit is concerned, only the users with Apify subscription are concerned, but there is plenty of them still. The second pricing model is quite different, and it is different in two aspects. There is no monthly rental prepayment, and also the user does not pay for the compute. Does not pay for the compute, for the data traffic. They basically do not pay for any platform costs. You, as a developer, is covering the platform costs. And also you choose the price for 1,000 results, and that's your revenue. So, for example, if you choose that your actor is priced at $2 per 1,000 results, then if somebody scraped 2,000 results, you get twice that amount, so you get $4, and that's your revenue. You need to subtract from the revenue any costs, so that's any compute or any storage that actor consumed, and the difference will be your profit. Technically speaking, the 80% of the revenue minus the cost will be your profit, because there is the 20% Apify cut. To illustrate this a bit better, we have prepared two examples to go through exact numbers. So the first one is the example with rental pricing. Imagine you published an actor, and you set the price to $30 a month. And you decided that the users will have 7 days to try the actor for free. For the sake of example, let's say you have 3 users. The first two are on Apify paid plans, and the third one is on free plan. So the third one, we can disregard the third user for profit computation. Out of the first two, the first started the trial on 15th, and the second started it on 25th. So the first one is charged on 22nd, after the 7-day trial period. And the second one, there is a typo, it should be the second user in the middle column. The second user is charged only on the 2nd of the next month. So during the first month, only the first user is charged, and they are charged $30. So your profit is 24, which is 80% out of that. The next month, both users will be charged, so your profit is double that, so it would be 48. We can compare this to pay-per-result pricing. This is the second example. Imagine you choose to change the pricing model of that actor, and you want the actor to be priced per result. And you decide the price should be $1 per 1,000 results. And for the sake of an example, let's say the underlying platform cost is $0.1 for 1,000 results. We have the same 3 users as before. The third one is not on a paid plan, so we can disregard them. The first 2 are on the paid plan, so we will include them in profit computation. The first one scrapes, let's say, the first one scrapes 50,000 results a month, and the second 20,000 results. So the revenue from the first one is $50, and the cost is 5, and from the second is 20 and 2, respectively. So the whole revenue is 50 plus 20, which is 70, and the cost is 7. Your profit would be 80% out of the revenue, which is 80% out of those $70, minus the 7, so $49. This is basically all about the pricing itself. We have more about this in an academy that I will cover at the end. Now, I would like to move and show you other tools and other dashboards and kind of analytics we have that will help you to monitor the performance of your actor, especially from the profit or revenue generating point of view. So here we go back to our user. And we will actually check a real account called Clockworks, and it is one of the Apify managed accounts that has a lot of scrapers under it. We open this TikTok scraper, and here we see the price is $45 a month. Then in the publication section, there is this Actor Insights tab, and here you see a lot of statistics. There are some basic statistics, such as profit this month. You can, of course, go back in history. Success rate, which means what percentage of runs actually succeeded. You see some statistics about users, paying users, trial users, all the unique users that are actually running your actor. And you can also see this cost per 1,000 results. Let me pause here on this cost per 1,000 results for a bit, because that's important also for the other pricing model. As I was saying before, when your actor is priced per result, your revenue is what the users pay for the results, but what the actor actually consumes when running on the platform, that's the cost. And you might be thinking, okay, but how do I know the cost, right? And you can't know the cost from the very beginning before you even run the actor for the first time. So here there are really 2 things which you can do, and in the future there will be more. For now, we invite you to first and foremost try the actor with different inputs and to see what the platform usage of those actor runs is. From that, you can estimate pretty well what it would cost even before you publish it, like at the very, very, very beginning when you're just thinking and doing early experiments. And then the second thing you can do is you can go to Actor Insight, and you can see this cost per 1,000 results. This dashboard is present for all the types of actors, regardless of whether it is rental, paid per result, or free actor. And here you see the statistics of cost per 1,000 results from all the users of your actor. So even if you don't have a single paying user, even if your actor is still free, if you come here, and if some users are actually using your actor, including yourself, you would see an aggregate statistics in time. And this can help to inform you what would be the reasonable price to set. Now, when we go to pay per result actor, we see that this one has cost $5 per 1,000 videos. There are similar statistics as before, including this cost per 1,000 results. And on the pay per result actors, there is also this important section on the bottom, which contains details about kind of the profit side of the paid actor. Here you see the costs in time, the revenue, the profit, which is 80% of the revenue minus the cost, and the profit margin. And you also see here that the margin is positive. On the top right here, you have the switch between paying users and all users. As far as profit computation is concerned, only paying users do matter, as I explained previously, because we can only charge users that are actually paying users. So these statistics actually are inform the profit that will be transferred to you on payout. Still, we do have data also on the users that are not paying, and we are showing it here. And we are showing it here for two reasons. The first reason is that they constitute kind of a potential audience. So you see how many users are using your actor and what is kind of the audience you can reach in theory. And second of all, early on, when the actor is still young, you might not have any paying users. But you might have some users that are just trying out the actor. And we found it important to give you as much information as early as possible, so it can inform the kind of your decisions about setting the price or maybe changing the price. So these are really details about rental and pay-per-result actors. In the publication tab, I wanted to show you the dashboards you have available. And there is one more place where you can see important details, and it is in the Analytics tab. In the Actor section, in the Analytics tab, you see an overview of all the actors you have. And you see some basic important statistics, such as number of users, and most importantly, the profit. And the profit you see here is the profit that will be eventually paid out, or that was paid out if you are looking at previous months. Statistics similar to this, kind of overview similar to this, is also sent out to you via monthly kind of email, where you see how your actors are performing. So this is all I wanted to say about the kind of examples of pricing models. And now I would just like to cover what probably everyone has been waiting for, and it's pretty simple, and it's about payouts. So how the money actually changes hands. So it is pretty simple. First of all, you need to enter your billing details. When you do that, we can issue a monthly payout invoice. It is issued automatically because we do know what was the profit your actors generated the previous month. And it is issued technically in your name against Apify, because Apify is the customer and you are a provider, and Apify will be paying you. Once that payout is issued, you will receive an email, and you can go to the platform, and there you have two options. You can either request some changes, so basically say that I don't understand this, or please can you clarify this, and we will get back to you. Or you can approve the payout, and once it is approved, we will just transfer the funds. I will just very quickly show you where you will find this tab in the platform. So you find it just under Settings and Payouts. Here you see the past payouts, and here you would also see all the new ones.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So maybe before we get to our questions, could you just say a few words for our viewers about where they can find information about everything you mentioned in more detail?
Of course, gladly. So the first important page with resources is, of course, our documentation. And there you mostly find the details about how the platform works, what are the different components of the platform, for example, proxies, etc., if you want to dive deep into this. If you are new to web scraping, we do also have Web Scraping Academy to bring you up to speed in how to build scrapers. Plus, there are also some other additional nice resources to read. Then we do have a blog where there are many useful blog posts, and they can be about like specific use cases or maybe specific technologies, specific integrations. So there might be something which serves your use case. So I would look there as well. And last but not least, we have a Discord community which I all invite you to join. And there it really serves two purposes, right? First, it makes it easy for you to connect with other developers or maybe users, like basically with the rest of the community. And it also connects you to us, so you can chat to us and we can reply to you. Plus, it has also the benefit that you get access to all the early information, because we do post announcements on the Discord to our community, sometimes even before they are deployed or very soon after something new is released and available. So these are kind of the main resources you have. And then I would also like to advertise one thing which I personally think is great, especially for developers that want to try out the platform and start. And it is our creator plan. So as a developer building public actors, you have an option to subscribe to a plan for $1 a month that will give you additional 500 free credits in the first half a year. So when you get on this plan, you get full access to the platform. The only thing which you don't get access to is to some public actors that are not meant for creators. Those are actors that are just meant to people that basically need the data. But this plan is really kind of dedicated to builders, to creators, to people that want to experiment with the platform, build something, publish it out there, and then get the profit. So yes, these are the primary sources, and I would like to hand over to you.
Thank you very much. So we'll go to our questions now. So the first question, well, this has been asked by multiple people. It's the most popular question, I think. Please share success and failed stories. How much developers earn on actors in average per month?
Yes. So we do have about 150 developers on the platform. And I would say the average would be hundreds of dollars, order of magnitude. But it really depends, right? I don't even know too much about the failed stories, because I believe there are actors that are not written well, they don't serve the purpose, like they don't solve the user problem, or maybe they just don't get the traction. So in theory, they don't earn that much. But then we do have some actors and some developers that earn, let's say, thousands of dollars. I think nobody has earned more than 10,000 so far, but thousands of dollars monthly, that's something that has been achieved. So at the moment, we are ranging anything between 0 and couple of thousands. Mm-hmm. That being said, one more thing I want to stress is that we really like our developers, and we are trying to build kind of the best ecosystem for them to thrive. So I hope kind of these numbers will continue and maybe even go up when more tools are available.
Cool. Next question. How should I price my actor? Any recommendations?
Yeah, that's a tough one. So, I mean, Apify is a free marketplace. It is a free store. So ultimately, it's the responsibility of every developer to price the actor or decide if they want to change the price. And here, I would probably recommend mostly looking at a competition. Now there is plenty of actors in the store itself, and so you can have a look. If there are some similar actors, maybe there will be the same actor. Maybe you are building something which is a direct competition, and based it on that. And then I would also recommend maybe looking at the internet and kind of similar solutions that you might potentially find elsewhere. But at the end of the day, you just need to kind of decide on something and make that leap, and you can always change it in the future if it doesn't work for any reason.
Okay. Okay, next question. How to connect actors with GPTs? Assume I have a CSV file that contains lots of URLs. I want to fetch content of these URLs and let GPT analyze the content.
Yes. So I do have also this about GPTs. So there are two sides I can look at this from two perspectives. So the first perspective would be GPTs themselves from OpenAI. And these days, we have added to actor details. So when you open an actor in Apify console, there is option to export API specs for the API, and you can load that to GPTs and use it seamlessly on the other side. You can read more in the docs. I will just show you very quickly that this Open API specification is here. So you can access it here. So the second way how to look at this question is about kind of having that CSV and getting the data. And here we do have, actually we need to go back. We do have a GPT scraper, which is a public actor in the store. And it works in a way that you give it a prompt and you give it which pages it should crawl and how it should crawl them. It takes care of all the crawling and loading the pages. And it runs the GPT on every individual page to produce some results. So I think that this would be the best way to directly serve that use case with CSV.
Right, great. Next question. Can I use my paid actor and not pay for it, only pay for usage?
Yes, that's the default. So you, as an owner, you always pay just for the usage, regardless of whether it is rental actor. You of course do not rent it. You own it, and if it is pay per result actor, when you run it, you pay for the usage.
All right, cool. What is the Apify team and community stance on creating duplicate actors, like having multiple YouTube actors in the store?
Yeah, that's a good one. So, as I mentioned before, Apify Marketplace, it is a free marketplace where anybody can publish technically anything. So far, it is mostly oriented on scraping, but basically any web automation task can be automated and published to Apify Store. And yeah, I need to add to that we don't want any harmful content. And luckily, we haven't had too much harmful content in the past. If we did, we would take it down, of course. So when you are deciding that you want to build something which is already there, you can. And you are entering a direct competition with some other product. There, I would just maybe stress to kind of try to go back to the first principles. I had that slide about what makes an actor good, and just try to make your actor better than the existing alternatives. It can be better performance, it can be cheaper, it can have better documentation, you may be able to promote it more. There are many ways to distinguish yourself from the other actors.
Great. Next question. What type of programming knowledge do we need to be able to create an actor on your site?
So not much, frankly. I mean, even for a relative newbie, you can always use those universal scrapers that I showed before. And I will just briefly put it back. So for example, the web scraper, here you need very minimum technical knowledge. You can just say what you want to scrape, and you can use this. And you can use this as a base for your solution and transform this to the actor that does something specific. That being said, if you want to do something kind of more involved, you do need to have some technical knowledge. But I would expect, and we have seen examples of kind of more junior developers building great things, so it's not really rocket science.
All right. Next question is, what happens if you have users and you take the actor down?
Yeah, so short answer is you can't. You can't instantly take it down. So when your actor is published, then as I mentioned before, some users might depend on that. Some businesses might depend on that. Some businesses might have integrated it, for example, via API in some of their workflows. So if you decide to unpublish the actor, first you need to remove the monetization, and this is about paid actors. first you need to remove the monetization, so make the actor free again. And for that, there is this 14-day notice period. So if I decide to remove the monetization today, the users will be informed, and the monetization will expire in 14 days. And once it expires, I can unpublish the actor. And if the users are not paying for the actor, then yeah, they will unfortunately lose access. But it is your right as a developer to kind of take down your product, so you can freely do that. There might be cases where you need to do it like sooner because something bad is happening, or maybe there is some performance issue, you're losing money. So then you can always reach out to us, and we can work with you to like do this faster.
Great. Does Apify have data on the most searched requested actor types from store?
I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you repeat it?
Does it have data on the most searched or requested actors from store, actor types?
So the way I understand this is basically how much maybe the market is saturated. So we already do have a lot of popular actors, like a lot of popular use cases, for example, with social media, rental sites, etc. A lot of them are covered, but most of them are kind of covered multiple times. So there is, I would say, healthy competition, and like I wouldn't be scared into going like competing with existing actors and building something which does something similar, but just do it better.
We also have the ideas page as well, right? Where people can submit ideas for actors.
That's actually true. We can show the ideas page. I'm not sure I can. So Apify ideas. I'm actually not sure. Yeah. Of course, the first one. Yeah, so we also do have an ideas page where there are ideas on what potential actors might be built, and you can also upvote them. So yes.
Great. Is it possible to make two different formats for inputs to actors? For example, a simple variant, just a URL, and a more advanced and flexible variant, JSON.
So yes, to some extent. I will try to show on our user. So if I go back to console, so you as a developer define an input, like the definition of the input, how it should look. And that input is then rendered here nicely. So if you have if a user needs to input text, you would see a text field here. The user can also run this programmatically, and it can input JSON, and also it can input JSON from here. So actually, user can also input the JSON for the input. As for more tricky use cases, at the moment, it is not really possible to do things like, if this condition is true, then this complex UI is shown, and if it is different, then this complex UI is shown. So everything needs to be in kind of one form like this, or the user can use the JSON. That being said, this part of the app is in a kind of active phase of development, so I would expect it will be changing in the future.
Okay. And do developers have to pay for Apify proxies?
No, that would be the short answer, but there is always a but. Depends on your use case. So when you are Apify developer, you log in and you start on a free plan. And that plan grants you $5 that you can spend in a month. And you can spend those $5 on anything, including the proxies. So you can use proxies for free until you reach the $5. And you can find the pricing for example, gigabyte of residential proxy or some Google search proxy. You can find that online. And if you need more proxy access, then you need to subscribe to one of the plans, such as Creator Plan. And then each plan comes with different amounts of credits that you can use for the proxies. So at that point, you are technically paying for the proxies when you are not on a free plan. That being said, on the Creator Plan, you get a lot of credits for free. You get those 500 credits for free, and you can also use those on proxies. Just maybe one thing to mention here is there are some monthly limits to how many you can burn on proxies and on other kind of individual services like compute on a Creator Plan, because we wouldn't like, this is really a plan for builders and creators, and we don't expect people to burn all the money on the first day, so that's not possible.
All right. Well, that's all the questions, so I think it's time to wrap up. Thank you, Mate, so much. If any of you missed anything, the video will remain available on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way. If you do have any other questions, you can leave them in the comments and we'll get back to you. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.